Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. And we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And folks, we got a crazy show for you guys here today. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So this is a topic that I had no idea we were going to be producing. We had actually already finished producing all of the content for the day. So I'm just kind of relaxing a little bit. And I came across a clip here from Fox Sports Radio with the following headline: why hasn't Austin Ainge gotten the same heat as Bronny for nepotism? Now, initially when I saw the thumbnail at first, I was confused. I'm like, don't they mean Danny Ainge? But then when I clicked on the video, I was able to surmise rather quickly that what they were saying was Danny Ainge got his son a job. I forgot. I don't know what team, maybe the Celtics or whatever it is. I forgot what organization he's still with. So this was the topic item that they were discussing. Now on the panel, of course, you have, it's the odd couple. So you have Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington. And Rob, I got to say, over the last few months has been taking a lot of strong positions on pretty much everything. He's been letting it all hang out, man. He's just been, he's not been holding back, and he's been going off. Like, he's just been going off. So the moderator essentially proposed a question saying, look, why is it different for Danny Ainge? Why is he getting the same? Why isn't he getting the same level of scrutiny that Bronny James is receiving? That LeBron James is receiving because he got Bronny James drafted on the Lakers. And at first, Kelvin answered first. He gave his reasons. He essentially said that, the Lakers did LeBron a solid, given the fact that everything he means to the league and all of that. It wasn't really a big issue. He said, being that he was second round pick, 55th pick, it was an inconsequential pick. So it wasn't like as if they went out there and drafted, they used him, and if they had like the number 2 pick or something, and they drafted his son instead. So it was something like that. And when it came time for Rob Parker to respond, he went off on he gave one of his most fiery rants I have ever seen him give on any topic. I mean, it was explosive, and you guys definitely got to hear it. But before we even get into what Rob had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports with over 10 million members. Prize Picks makes it easy to get real money action on the sports and players you love. You pick more or less on at least 2 for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. For example, this week on Prize Picks, I'm looking at the upcoming NBA schedule and selecting Stephen Curry for more than 29 points and Kevin Durant for more than 27 points and Anthony Davis for more than 12 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 8 assists. If you're like me and you like to play it safe, you'll love Prize Picks' new feature, Flex Plays. It's the safest way to play. You can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. Plus, you can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. On top of this, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money as quick as in 15 minutes. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is we're going to play what Rob had to say here. I want you guys to listen to it in its entirety. And I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Rob Parker here.
Every major basketball-related job that Austin Ainge has ever had in his career has been with his father. So, guys, here's the question. Why is it that Bronny James is the poster child for nepotism while Austin Ainge seems to fly under the radar?
And again, my point then was, Rob, this happens all the time in life.
No, it doesn't.
And it
doesn't.
It happens.
It does
literally
not.
just happened right there.
It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Between working a job where people do nepotism is bad. So I'm the first one to say it. What Danny Ainge is doing is bad. Nepotism is bad. A lot of companies won't even allow it because it is bad. I don't believe the Utah Jazz should hire Danny Ainge's son. So I'll be the first one on the record. But when it comes to athletics and you having to compete to get on the field, the reason that this country is 70% white and the NBA 75% black is because you have to earn your way onto the field. Okay? If NBA owners wanted to do it and put white guys on the league and say the country's 70% white, I don't care how good black players are, I'm just going to hire white players because those are the people who are buying the tickets and coming to the games, and I don't care. No, sports has never been that once they've decided that they were going to allow black people to compete fairly and honestly, once they broke the color barrier. So it's a disservice to everybody who puts on a uniform who has to compete. Michael Jordan owned a damn team. He didn't put his 2 sons on the team. He could have. Jerry Jones owns the Dallas Cowboys. He could have put his sons on the team and said, what does it matter? They're only the last guys on the end of the bench. People would be outraged. It's a disgrace. Anybody who's ever played sports and had to compete for a spot, for a guy to put their kid on it, it happens all the time, and it's wrong. It's wrong in Little League. It's wrong in high school. It's wrong in college. And it's wrong in the pros. Anybody who's honest, the only reason that people didn't go out and go off on LeBron is because he's a star. And they don't want the wrath or be able to say, well, LeBron stopped me from doing this, or I can't get tickets to the Lakers, or they're afraid. If this was anybody else, if this was anybody other than LeBron James, he'd be ridiculed trying to get his son in the NBA. We saw it down with Urban Meyer trying to get Tim Tebow a job as a tight end. Right? His next door neighbor, his friend. And the player said, F no, he's no good. There's 20 kids in college who played tight end who deserve that job. And what happened? Tim Tebow didn't get a job because it wasn't right. And Bronny's not right, and he proved this year he's ready? He's not ready for the NBA. He's a marginal player at best. I refuse to sit here and act like it's okay. It ain't the same thing as a job. If I own a store or I own something, that you people hire people all the time. It still ain't right. I just said that from the jump. Okay. Nepotism ain't right.
Okay.
Unless you own a family store and you can hire whoever you want if it's your business. You can.
Well, first off, the Lakers are a family business. Let's start there.
So you heard what Rob had to say. This is a tricky one. Okay? This is a tricky one. Because there are many ways to look at this situation here. Rob is saying that nepotism isn't good. He doesn't believe that it's good fundamentally. He did throw in a wrinkle at the end where he said, now, if you own a business, then you have the right to hire who you want. But he also spoke about some of the pitfalls with that as well, where is you hire people, you may be hiring people like family members. It may not even be your kids. It just may be like family members, people that are related to you that may not be qualified for those positions rather. And you go ahead and give them a job over somebody that's more qualified. And next thing you know, it's a total mess. There's a story that took place in Nigeria a number of years ago where the former CEO of a pretty prominent bank called Diamond Bank bequeathed his business to his son. And the moment his son took over the business, within a few years later, the bank totally collapsed and it ended up being bought out by Access Bank, right? So that was an absolute disaster, where you've had situations where kids were given positions in their parents' companies. They weren't qualified for it. Maybe there was a little bit of entitlement that was in there and they felt like, well, this is my right and all of that. And you go in there, you give them a job that maybe somebody else may have been better suited to be in, right? A position that they have been better suited to be in. In the case of the Lakers, is a little bit different, because in the case of the Lakers, LeBron doesn't own the Lakers. So it's not like as if LeBron has a company in which he employed his son. That'll be a different thing. And I don't think it would have made as many headlines. In the case of the situation with Bronny and the Lakers, LeBron doesn't own the team. And so therefore, it came off a different way. Now, the Danny Ainge situation, he doesn't own the Celtics as well. And I think that's why Rob is taking a position that nepotism is bad across the board. That's his position. Okay? That's his position. And he brought up a pretty strong point about the NBA and how it's merit-based, right? And if it was based on family members or people that you just like for whatever reason, then we'd have a different NBA. these are all strong points. But at the same time, when people have their own businesses, they usually want to pass it over to their children. And what some people do is that they ensure that, you know, their kids are qualified. Look, I think that you can do nepotism if it's done the right way, right? I think if you just put your kid in a position in your business that they're not qualified to be in, then you're hurting your business, which means ultimately you're hurting your kid. But if you put them through the proper training and they go through all of the rigors and ensure that they're fully equipped to handle that position, then I don't think anything is wrong. Because the fact is, as parents, we're working really hard, but the fact of the matter is we're working hard for our kids. I mean, why am I busting my ass every single day? Why are you busting your ass every single day? It's for your family, right? So a part of you wants to be able to hand that over to them, you know, and if you don't have that, you know, for people that have kids, if you don't have that thing that's motivating you, like I'm doing like just for myself. So a lot of people want to feel like the sense of like, yes, I can do something for my kids. But it was a pretty interesting position that Rob took. So what I want to know from you guys, where do you land on this issue? What are your thoughts on it? Do you support Rob? Are you against Rob? Are you in the middle? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.